Yoga. So we can use a bolster or some kind of pillow. That's going to be nice for our practice tonight. A strap would be good, or a belt. Blocks are really nice to work with, or books or anything square, or maybe we could use a blanket, and this comes in real handy for this type of class because we hold the postures a little bit longer, so we can use this to cushion our ankles on the floor and stay in these postures a little bit more comfortably. So the blanket is definitely a nice thing to have, and we're going to get right into it. So first, come into some sort of seated position. I like seated Sukhasana, this cross-legged position. You could have one foot out maybe. Make it your practice. And if your knees hang in space, this is where the blocks, a first great opportunity for the blocks are. We can put those blocks underneath the knees if they kind of hang up in space like this. So resting into the earth. Also, as I mentioned, we can prop the hips with a blanket, and this creates that lumbar curve at the base of the spine. And we're really going to work that sacral area tonight, releasing tensions and allowing energy to flow. So close the eyes here, and just start to deepen your breath into this breath that we want to take this attitude throughout the whole entire class, this breath. Dirga Swasam, this three-part breath. So as you inhale, inhale into the belly, take it through the chest and the rib cage, up into the shoulders and into the collarbones. And as you exhale, allow the shoulders to relax. Allow that breath to move through the side body and the rib cage, and then gently pull the navel to the spine. Breathing through the nose if the passages are clear. As you breathe like this, see if you can just move your attention to the forehead and allow the forehead to soften. Bringing your attention behind the eyes and into the eyes. Each exhale, allowing you to sink even deeper into this surrender, which is a hallmark of Yin Yoga practice. Surrender, open, receptiveness, letting go of the jaw. Let the jaw soften and the lips slightly part and the teeth slightly part. As you're breathing long, slow, and deep, allow the tongue to relax in the mouth and notice moisture moving down into the throat. Just allowing our awareness, almost like a flashlight, just illuminate the pit of the throat, the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Moving your attention gently into the shoulders and the collarbones as you breathe deep, softening, allowing the shoulders to relax. You may even want to bring the hands to the knees or rest them in the lap. If you have them on the knees though, you can shake out the elbows and let the humerus, this bone here in the arm, just hang in traction. And then follow your attention down through the arms as you're breathing out into the hands. Feel the palms of the hands, and you may even want to turn the palms over. And this is a little bit more open and receiving. And see if you can just feel the palms of the hands, that aliveness, this glowingness, whatever it is, the sensation. Moving the attention now into the heart center. Feeling the heart center, the front of the heart and the back of the heart, as you breathe deeply into this area. Gently moving that attention solar plex region that's above the navel and below the rib cage. Breathing, and you may even be able to notice the abdomen rising, falling there to give you a nice anchor or resting place for your attention, an alambana, a nurturing resting place. Gently moving that attention down into the hips, into the hip girdle, and that's where we'll be targeting our practice tonight. Yin Yoga really targets yin tissues in the body, female tissues, tamasic tissues like ligaments and fascia. We get blood flow there, and there's so many ligaments holding your entire hip girdle together. And as you breathe into this area, we're already releasing subtly just by sitting here, relaxing in this seated posture. And feel everything below the navel and into the hips, breathing into the pelvis. Second chakra, Spadhisthana chakra. Moving down into the legs and feel where the body touches the mat, moving through the thighs into the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, moving into the knees, gently down the legs, into the calves, into the ankles and the feet, and finally the toes. And then just notice the feet underneath the body as you breathe here. Feeling this whole body, seeing the body as an object in consciousness, which is a great asset to your asana practice or posture practice. Learning to see where there's tension in the body and moving our attention there and breathing into it, sending prana, chi, life force, energy, whatever you like to call it, to those areas. Prana always follows attention. So wherever you put your attention, you bring this intelligence, this energy, pranic energy, organizing all of the relationships, all the affinities in this entire universe. Gently coming off the blanket if you were using that, and if you do have a blanket, this is a nice opportunity to use it for our first posture tonight, Baddha Konasana. We can take the blanket and open that up and have this nice little cushion for the ankles. Leaning back into the hands, bring the knees together, lengthen one leg long, lengthen the other leg long, bounce out the legs. Good, let the feet fall from side to side. We want to get in and start to get some activity there at the hip girdle here, where the femur meets the hip girdle. So if you roll it internally, externally, rotating the legs, that's nice. Give it one more bounce, and then gently bringing the blanket underneath the knees about, and that's a good spot. Leaning back into the hands, step the feet back to the blanket, and we're going to bring the feet together. We have a lot of space here in Yin Yoga between the heels and the groin. We don't really bring it up like this. We want a good amount of space as we let the knees drop out to the side and sit up a little taller. Another great opportunity for your blocks here. So you could use the blocks underneath the knees to support the knees, because we're in this posture for a longer period of time. Yin Yoga is about longer hold times with modest sort of stress, or we're opening easily and effortlessly. And so also I broke this timer out. If you practice at home, use a timer. These sequences online, we can see how long we stay in the postures. So as you're sitting up a little taller, you can even weave the fingers between the toes here, getting a little separation between the toes, even getting into those ligaments and getting blood flow to where it usually doesn't get to, fascia and ligaments. Ligaments hold bone and bone together. Good. And just rocking in the hips a little bit, sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders. On that next inhale, you could stay right here, or on an exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips. Coming forward at the hips, and just to wherever you feel your edge. Not going over your edge into pain or discomfort, just to where you can feel it. We want modest stress for long periods of time. That's Yin Yoga. Now we can gently drop the chin to the chest here, only if that feels good, and let the cervical spine hang. And generally we don't usually do this, but in Yin Yoga it's okay to bring the shoulders, roll them over a little bit right at the end. So we should be hinging at the hips, 2/3 in the hips, and then that 1/3 just rolling the shoulders over, relaxing the face and the jaw and the eyes as you start to move and deepen your breath here into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And sometimes our minds are really still active, especially at the beginning of our practice. So if you have an active voice in the head, I would recommend using saying to yourself internally as you inhale, say to yourself here, and as you exhale, say to yourself now. And this just gives the voice in the head something to do. And we can relax this body deeply into this first posture. Just listening to the teaching with an open heart. And so Yin Yoga, Yin means, or Yin represents female energy, or if it was one of the gunas, it would be, in yoga, the 3 gunas, it would be a tamasic. And male is called rajasic, or yang. And so male energy is this going, it's a bright energy. Think of the sun, getting things done, checking things off the to-do list, becoming something in the future, getting somewhere, getting something, moving, flowing. Tissues in the body, muscles would be male tissues because they're elastic and they're meant to move and flow. And then there's female or tamasic energy. And that's what we're really focusing on tonight. And we live in a male world, really. Even our yoga practices with all the vinyasa and all the flowing practices. These are yang practices, rajasic practices. And so here we get this nice opportunity to stay in this first posture for 5 minutes as we breathe and let go. And we're not getting anywhere. So let's first take that attitude, and we want to take this attitude with each posture. That stop waiting for something to happen, or the end of the posture, or what's next in the sequence. And just start to notice this body in space and see where there's tension. And you can move your attention, like we did in the beginning of practice, to each place you feel tension, and just breathe into it. next inhale, start to release the fingers from the toes. We come out so slow in Yin Yoga. Slide the hands back to the arches. Maybe even give yourself a little foot massage there, right to the arches. Just get in there. And then gently take the hands and just press gently so you're helping the torso up. Once we're up here, we can even use the hands skillfully underneath the knees. Press the knees together to midline and then lengthen each leg long, coming forward into Dandasana, seated staff pose. Bounce out the legs, let the feet fall from side to side. So this is Yang. And there is no yin without yang. Even a yin yoga class has male elements like rhythm and flow, and we gotta move and wiggle the toes. Good, give it one more last little bounce here. Moving into Janu Shirshasana next. Stepping back with that left foot. Come into that half tree stump. Again, you can use this blanket skillfully and place the foot right on the blanket so the ankle gets some support. Next exhale, allow that left leg to just fall out to the side and sit up a little bit taller. We can have a little space between the foot and the leg here. And you could even use that block again. If your knee is hanging up in space, use that block. Some people even like to use a yoga strap or a belt. And we can place that and horseshoe that around the foot here. On that next inhale, we're just going to frame the hands and press the sits bones into the earth. Sit up a little taller through the crown. Exhale, start to walk the hands forward, just one step. Keep a nice bend in the knees here. Yin Yoga is about connective tissue, so we really want to keep everything soft in the knees here for these long hold times. And then we can decide here what we like to do. We can frame the leg with the hands here and just stay right here. Or some people might hinge a little bit further, lengthen through the crown, and walk the hands a little further. You could even use the yoga strap around the ball of the foot, never the arch, the ball of the foot here. And this could help us. But we're not trying to get anywhere or accomplish it. We're just trying to come to our edge where we feel it. Then, right at the end, we can roll the shoulders over, bring the chin to the chest here. And in Yin Yoga, we're allowed to let that head hang. Just because it's long hold times, we don't want to hold this head up for a long period of time. So if it's available, chin to chest, let the head hang. Feel this body and see it as an object in consciousness. Breathing into where you feel tension. Again, if you have an active mind, use that here now. And this is it. There's nothing, nowhere to get to. Nothing to accomplish in the future. We're allowing this passive, open stretch of the body. And we're moving our attention to where we feel tension. Sometimes you could maybe even see the tension as a shape. You could outline it in your mind, or maybe like a flashlight shining on it. Or maybe the tension is a little color or has color to it. So however you can move your attention and place it where you feel tension, please breathe into those areas, releasing tensions from the energy body and the physical body and the mental body. for this last minute, we're just going to see if we can move to, sometimes in Yin Yoga it's called the second edge, but that doesn't mean push over your edge because we're going to get somewhere. It just means to soften into what's already here. So check it out. See if you can let gravity take the face, the jaw, the eyes, all these little places. Let any involuntary movement of the body to happen, little micro movement. The body has its own intelligence. Inhale, sliding the hands back to frame the knee. Press into the hands, help that torso on up, and then gently just get the hands behind you so you can lean into the hands a little bit and let that sacral area hang in traction. We're really working that area where Kundalini energy lies. The Kunda pod lies underneath the sacral area, and there's a lot of sensation we can feel. This ultimate female Shakti energy that resides at the base of the spine, always wanting to move up towards the crown, and it's what fuels this energetic system that we call the human experience. Sitting up a little bit taller and then gently pressing that knee to midline with the hand if that's available, lengthening the leg long, and bounce out the legs again. Let the feet fall from side to side. Give it a little bit of a bounce. Next, exhale, sitting up tall, taking that right foot back, dropping that knee out, a little space here. We can flex the foot, and let's just see the difference between energy so we can get a direct experience, which is the ultimate wisdom in yoga, direct experience. We don't believe these teachings. We learn about them and then check it out. So here we go. Flex the foot, lift the heel off the mat a little bit. Really tighten up the kneecap. This is more of a yang or male energy. Now, exhale. Let that heel drop, soften in the knees, bring a yin energy, this passive, open receptivity rather than getting somewhere. You could have your strap waiting, framing the knees with the hands. Inhale, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, maybe walk the hands forward. We're squaring off the hips here. Good. We could stay here, or maybe one step further, or you could take a bind. You could take your strap here. And then right at the end, we could drop the chin to the chest. Let the head hang and just roll the shoulders over just a little bit. Remember, we are encouraging a bend in the knee here. Breathing, sensing and feeling. And as you deepen in the posture, softening the face, the jaw, the eye, surrendering to this body in space. Be on the lookout for maybe a toe just twitches, or you shift in the hips a little bit. All these little involuntary micro movements are encouraged in Yin Yoga. We stay in these postures and allow the body's own intelligence to release what it needs to release or shift. Finally, we give the body a voice, and it's not sort of in this cacophonous assault of the human mind, which is a really noisy or rajasic or yang place thinking. And again, if a lot of thinking is happening because we are so still, we could use the voice in the head to help you skillfully by saying here on the inhale and now on the exhale. Gently moving into that second edge where we just let it all go, almost like you can see this body from above and it's a marionette puppet, and we let go of the strings and gravity takes this body, breathing. Gently sliding the hands back to frame the knee. Press into the hands and lift this torso up from the hips. Stepping the hands back behind this body. Lean into the hands and let that sacral area just hang in traction. Good. Pressing into the hands, sitting up a little taller. We're going to use that right hand to press that knee midline, lengthen that leg long, give it a little bit of a bounce. And we're going to just come into a transitional pose. We don't hold this one for as long, just to allow the sacral area to hang. Stepping the hands back, bring the elbows to the mat, underneath the shoulders and the forearms to the mat, and just press through the forearms and rock in the hips a little bit, and see if you can bring your attention right there to the base of the spine, that sacral area, really getting some space between the vertebra there. They take a lot of impact because they really are the stability in the human skeletal system there at the base of the spine, and the lumbar vertebra are gigantic compared to the ones in the cervical or the neck. So we're getting some space, we're allowing energy to move up the spine. On that next inhale, press into one hand then the other, lifting this body, bounce out those legs. The blanket should be in a good place for you. You could have your strap still around the feet for this next one. Sliding the feet back, making a nice bend in the knees here. Coming in for caterpillar. Taking the arms underneath the thighs here and sort of giving the body a hug. And maybe your hands are out here where the wrists are. That's okay. You can, whatever your practice is. You could stay right here or slide each foot gently forward until maybe the arms meet the mat. Maybe they just hang in space. And this gets us into that perfect forward bend, especially if we lengthen through the crown, pull up on the arms a little bit. It's like you're hugging the body to help you pull through the crown, and then folding forward. And again, here in Yin Yoga, we can bring the chin to the chest and let the head hang here. Breathing into caterpillar pose. And again, taking that attitude here now with the voice in the head, finding tension, seeking it out, and then bringing your attention there and breathing into it. Letting these little involuntary movements happen. This is the attitude we take here, this female tamasic attitude. Last 30 seconds here. See if you can move to that second edge. Everything, the shoulder blades relax, the face, the jaw, the tongue in the mouth, the teeth slightly part. So stay here, or if it's available, releasing the arms from underneath the legs. Let the backs of the kneecaps move towards the mat a little bit, reach through the heels, and we can take the arms long, maybe grabbing towards the ankles here. Here's the opportunity for Paschimottanasana with the strap around the balls of the feet here. Again, we can get that relaxed shoulder. We don't want the attitude, I'm getting somewhere in the future. So it's not about pushing, it's about receiving and allowing. There's a softness still in the knees here. We're getting into connective tissue. So the most yin tissue, or the gross example of female energy on the level of tissue, would be bone. Because it's solid and dense, and it actually does have more flexibility than you would think. Even there is no yin without yang. And so moving to these tamasic tissues, the ligaments and the fascia. Paulie Zink, who was the founder of one of the founders of Yin Yoga, would say, stretch your bones. I love that. On that next exhale, let go of any bind you might be taking, peace, finger, strap, and slide the hands back, framing the knees, sliding them all the way back, press into the hands, help that torso up, yep, stepping the hands back, and again, bounce out the legs here. And as you lean into the hands this time, you may want to step the feet back towards the blanket there. And you can drop the knees to the left here. Just take a few breaths into that sacral area. Nice opening here. Inhale back through center. Exhale, drop to the other side. Really working that second chakra area tonight. Inhale through center. Dropping to the side. Inhale through center. One more time. And then inhale back through center. Lengthen those legs long. We're going to use this blanket skillfully, or a prop if you had your cushion or whatever, or you could even use a block here. I like to take the blanket in a trifold where we take the blanket like this, bring one edge in, bring the other edge in, and sort of create this trifold blanket. Have that just waiting for you. On that next exhale, we're going to take the left leg back, coming into half tree stump, and so give this leg a hug into the body. Let's take a real kind of male or yang attitude. Flex the foot, really flex it, lift the kneecap, the heel lifts up off the mat. Then let's see what yin is like. Let that heel drop, soften in that knee. Good, so we're having this nice yin attitude. Gently placing that left ankle underneath the right knee into figure 4 if that's available, and sliding that left foot or right foot back towards the body. We can interlace the fingers here and grab the leg maybe, or just stay right here where you are. And then if you can grab the leg, re-lengthen that right leg, rocking the cradle as we sit up a little taller. And so we're adding a little male energy here with this rocking at first. And then on your next exhale, pull the knee up into the shoulder just to where you're at in the practice. Maybe even lifting the head of the femur out of that hip girdle a little bit. There's so much ligament action in there, holding everything together. We really want to get blood flow to the ligaments here and the fascia to bring health and wellness and oxygen on the level of tissue and prana on the level of energy. Good. Exhale, gently drop that foot. Maybe it's to the outside of the right foot, or you might, if this is where your practice is, have it to the inside. So it's up to you. If you can have it to the outside, that's nice. Now we could stay right here for the rest of this posture, or if you can, lean into that right hand, take that right foot back and underneath. And so we're coming into Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. And this is actually open shoelace, maybe it's called in Yin Yoga, when the knees aren't quite over the top of each other. We can work with that with this great prop here. Leaning forward, that helps you line those knees up. It gives you that leverage, and then you can slowly slide a blanket, a block, or a bolster, whatever height you need to sit back and somewhat maybe have the knees over the top of each other, but don't push into pain or discomfort. So it's up to you. This is your practice. We're going to add a little pranayama, and this is a breath to move us to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming part of the autonomic nervous system. We have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So the sympathetic nervous system is all about this regulation. It's this yin energy, lower heart rate. If we're in fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, it's about running away from danger and blood to the muscles. So here we want to just breathe deep and cultivate this sense or attitude, parasympathetic sense. So it's called alternate nostril breathing, and we'll use a ratio tonight, so I'll count that with you. Taking that right hand, bring it into peace fingers, and then drop the peace fingers down to the heel of the hand, and you have your thumb, your pinky, and your ring finger left. Vishnu hand mudra. Taking that right thumb and just gently finding where the fleshy and the bony part meet of the nose, and gently press it, or just seeing how to close that off. But we're going to breathe through both nostrils to begin. So just release that for a second, and on the next inhale, just breathe through the nose. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale through both nostrils. Gently rest that right thumb on the nose. Inhale, 1, 2, and then we're going to pinch the nose and retain Kubhaka. 3, 4, 5, 6, retaining the breath. 7, 8, exhale right. 2, 3, 2, pinch, retain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, retain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 1, 2, retain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, retain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, kumbhaka retention, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Release the hand. Some people for this next part may just rest the hands on the knees here. That's nice. Interlace fingers. Or if you can frame the knee here, lengthening through the crown and just starting to lengthen out and walk the hands forward here, starting to bring the heart towards that top knee, and we can bring the chin to the chest here. Breathing into tension here in the hip girdle. Relaxing the face, the jaw, the eyes. Gently walking the hands back towards this body. Getting the hands back behind the body, leaning back into it. Lengthen that top leg long, gently the bottom leg. Give those legs a little bounce. Rock them from side to side. If you're up on a prop here, this is where you want to maybe take that prop and have that out for the other side. Give the legs a little bounce here. Again, fall from side to side. And here we go. We're going to take that right foot back, half tree stump. Sit up tall. Flex that left foot. Feel what yang feels like. Male, 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 male. Exhale. Let that heel soften. Let that little softness start in the knee here. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to bring that ankle to below the left knee and slide that left foot back to help that. You could stay here or grab the foot with the arm, interlace fingers, re-flatten that left leg with that little softness in the knee, sitting up tall. Good, rocking the cradle just a little bit here. It's almost like you're just lifting out of the hip girdle a little bit as you do these little circles, breathing deep. Pulling that knee up into the shoulder and gently placing that right foot to the outside of that left foot. You could stay here or lean into that left hand and bring that left foot back and under towards the right buttocks. You could stay here and open shoelace with the knees kind of offset, or use your props, your blanket block or bolster. Come on up here. Lean forward, line those knees up, and And then place that prop up and under, sitting up nice and tall here. And we're just going to add Garudasana arms here to open the back of the heart a little bit as this energy moves from the Kundapot up into the heart. So here we go. We're going to take that left arm, bring it to L shape, and then bring that L shape to midline. You could stay here, or bring the right arm underneath. And for Yin Yoga, some people like to drop the elbows towards the chest here because it's a longer hold time. Or you could wrap the wrists here. And if this is available, gently press the elbows towards me a little bit. Feel the shoulder blades start to open and make the back of the heart a receptive place. And then press the elbows up towards the nose here, really revealing the back of the heart. Breathing as you close the eyes here, long, slow, and deep, to wherever you feel tension. The sacral area is a great place to bring your attention, the back of the heart, the hips, and just breathe into it. And use your here now technology if you have an active mind. You took the arms gently, releasing the arms, and take the shoulders to the ears here. Just give the shoulders a few little rolls. And then this time we're going to take that right arm L shape, bring that to midline. Use the left arm underneath, maybe staying here, maybe dropping elbows, or wrapping the forearms. Press elbows towards me and then up towards the nose, revealing the back of the heart, breathing. Gently taking the hands, and some people might rest the interlaced fingers on the top knee if that's what's available, or maybe framing the knees here. We can lengthen through the crown a little bit, walk the hands gently forward and start to connect the heart towards that top knee. We could bring the chin to the chest and let the head hang at the end here. And just let it all go. Let any involuntary movements happen. Seeing this body as an object in consciousness from this choiceless awareness, this exalted perpetual consciousness in the background. Next inhale, start to walk the hands back towards this body. Sitting up a little taller, take the hands back and behind, lean into the hands, release that top leg, bottom leg. Give the legs a little bounce, let the feet fall from side to side. Removing the prop if you used it. And having your blanket closed here for Shavasana, because we're so yin in Shavasana, the body temperature lowers and female energy is associated with cold and male energy would be hot. Rajasic, tamasic. Bounce out the legs here. And if you have lower back issues, a bolster for underneath the knees is really nice also. We can challenge the core on the way down by flipping the palms and lowering down, or help the body down with the hands, slowly coming down to the mat. And once we're down, just step the feet back towards this body, and we're just going to take that right leg and just cross it over the left leg like you're sitting in a chair cross-legged. Here you can take the arms out into a T position. And we'll move into twisted root here. So you could stay here, this is really nice, or gently twisting the spine here by gently dropping the knees to the right side and just squeeze the thighs into each other a little bit. We could, if it's available, we could even turn our head and look over that left shoulder too. So breathing here into twisted root, allowing that lower back area to sort of open and twist. We really stimulated this area behind the sacrum where Kundalini energy lies in our human experience. Next, inhale, bringing the head through center, bring the knees through center, and then we're just going to release that right leg to the floor. Keeping the arms in a T, just take that left leg, cross it over the right leg like you're sitting in a chair cross-legged. Squeeze the thighs gently, and if it's available, gently drop the left knee to the left side here, dropping the knees left and looking over that right shoulder. Coming into twisted root on the other side, breathing, guys. If you feel like a shoulder blade is lifting up off the mat or anything, we'd rather have the shoulders connected to the mat than to have the knees all the way to the side. You could put blocks underneath the knees or a bolster underneath the knees to support them if that's better for your practice. And just come in and breathe deep here. We can breathe the diaphragm through a twisted space, a twisted torso, bringing blood flow to all the organs, releasing what we don't need, letting go. This downward movement of energy, aponic movement, apana. Next, inhale, bringing the knees through center, the head through center, and then gently releasing that left leg to the floor here. Maybe separate the feet to about hip distance and just let the knees drop from side to side here. Just coming into that windshield wiper motion. And then bringing the knees up through center here. We can gently start to bring the knees towards the body and grab underneath the knees here for Apanasana, sorry, and which is called bellows pose. So we're kind of squeezing the breath out here. On an inhale, exhale, pull the knees into the chest, into the shoulders, squeeze that breath out. And then hold on to the knees here. Really press that sacral area into the floor as you do little circles so we can kind of flatten that area. We really open that area tonight with our practice. Little circles, both directions. And then gently touching each foot down to the mat, coming into your standard corpse pose if you've practiced yoga before, where we lengthen the feet out to the corners of the mat and let the pinky toes move towards the floor, external rotating the thighs, bringing the hands a few inches from the body, palms up or down, whatever's better for you. Or in Yin Yoga, sometimes they use pentacle, where we spread the feet a little bit wider, we bring the arms a little bit wider out, almost into a star. I'm going to take the traditional Shavasana. Here's a great opportunity to place the blanket over the body if you want a little extra warmth. Body temperature does lower. You could put a bolster underneath the knees. So if you have lower back issues or your lower back is kicking up, you can easily put a bolster underneath the knees just like that. And here, the most yin posture of all. Give it all up. There is absolutely nowhere to get to, nothing to do. We're just allowing ourselves to be open and receiving this body, receiving these thoughts, receiving these emotions. All at once, this choiceless awareness. It doesn't have a viewpoint and opinion. It has to see everything. And as we rest here, you could use your here now technology. You could move your attention to where you feel tension in the body. So allow yourself this ultimate yin tamasic female experience. reaching to the forehead, softening. Telling the eyes to let go of the forehead. Telling the cheeks to let go of the eyes. Telling the jaw to let go of the cheeks. Telling the throat and the tongue to let go of the jaw. Telling the shoulders to let go of the neck. Telling the heart center to let go of the shoulders. Telling the solar plex region to let go of the heart. Letting it all go. Surrender. Telling the pelvis to let go of the solar plex. Telling the thighs to let go of the hips. Telling the knees to let go of the thighs. Telling the calves to let go of the knees. Telling the ankles to let go of the calf. Telling the feet to let go of the calves. Telling the toes to let go of the feet. See this body lying here on the mat, breathing into this experience, the human experience. Gently find yourself mentally into the hands first, and then start to wiggle the fingers a little bit here, starting to animate the hands. Gently start to roll the wrists, coming back to this body, rocking the head gently on the mat a little bit. Start to wiggle the toes and let any movement the body might need in this moment. Moving, and then eventually finding yourself rolling over onto your right side, finding a fetal position with the body. And as we walk out of this class, in every moment we're born again. That's the real reincarnation, right? Every moment we're born into this new moment, and that's even a lie, because there's only one moment, the present moment. But a great place to seed intention here, create a sankalpa or intention. And so create an intention to take these little yin moments during the day where you step out of this rajasic male place, the human mind, or some emotion is rushing through and we're trying to figure out why is this happening, who's to blame, and how can I fix it, over and over again, or worrying about the future, creating the future in some way, or remembering the past and trying to rearrange that. And that's natural, and we do this a lot, and so we're not trying to get rid of it altogether, but we can make this intention to take these little yin or female moments of just open receptivity. It is as it is. We're not trying to get anywhere or change anything. And this is great for the immune system. It's great to move into that parasympathetic nervous system. And take these little moments that you have during the day and just bring this yin attitude. Letting that intention sink in deep into the subconscious mind. And it's already happening if you made it this far in the class. On that next inhale, extend that top leg long, gently push up, pushing the body up into seated Sukhasana, just coming in for a moment of gratitude here to close the class. So we can bring those hands together at heart center once we're up, pressing the hands into each other evenly. Let the thumbs touch the heart center so we can easily bring our attention there. Feel where the thumbs touch the heart, relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes here, and just having gratitude for the teachers and the teaching. So Yin Yoga, this fairly new, it's actually comes from Taoist yoga, which is a very ancient form of yoga, but this modern Yin movement, maybe Paulie Zink and Paul Grilly, the founders, and now, moving into restorative Yin Yoga here. And so all the teachers and the teachings and yogic science, thank you, thank you. We can reduce unnecessary suffering in our lives, and it's because it's been pointed out by these teachers. Thank you to you guys for practicing. When you choose peace, when you choose your natural state, when you let go of worry, the world becomes less worried. The world becomes more peaceful. That's true. We're all connected in this moment together. And then thank you for letting me share tonight. I truly love teaching yoga, being the instrument of the teaching. So thanking you for allowing me to share the teaching with you tonight. And thanking you from the bottom of my heart for practicing. Namaste. Letting the hands fall to the lap. Listening to the singing bowl as you come back to the room with a soft gaze.